The idea with this practice is another sort of possibly restorative or resiliency building. Um, so the proposal is to play with memory again, um, and again looking for, and this time with a person, um, or an animal, perhaps. Um, and taking a moment and just, kind of like scanning through the film of your memory, rewinding, fast forwarding, looking for a person or a creature in your life that you feel brings up a really warm feeling, a comforting feeling, a safe, playful, anything, any variety in there. Maybe you just call it a nice or good feeling, something like that. And maybe what I want to say is in this practice, if you don't find quite the right one, you can always play with different ones and notice what effect different people or animals have as you do the same sort of practice. So coming in to narrow in on just one, it could be a test one or it could be one you're going to stick with. Person or animal or something like that. Maybe it's a tree or a rock, what have you. Coming to notice in your mind's memory, you're like the mind's eye. Can you feel or see or in some way notice in your memory of this person, are they breathing? Can you see breath move in and out of them? And if you look in your memory and you don't see something I'm proposing, it's no big deal. The goal is to check. And if you find something, great. And if you find nothing, also that's great. You checked. And if you find murky information, also that's great. The goal here is just looking to see. So you kind of practice this refreshing this person or memory. It's like if you had an old style photo and you just kept putting it in front of your eyes of like, oh yeah, refresh this person, this animal. Maybe you remember them in general, or maybe you remember one moment with them. Either way is fine. Looking now in your mind's eye at do you notice their skin? Or perhaps what they're wearing? Or if it's their fur, or are there wrinkles? Is it smooth? Does it look dry or moist or any particular way? And notice, can you touch it? Can you touch this like fur or the skin or the clothing of this memory person or animal? And what textures do you notice? So it might be a little bit confusing in this way of, is that a memory or is that now? Am I imagining it or was it real? Don't worry too much about deciding those questions. The game here is really to check out the proposal, like texture for now, checking out the texture. And you come up with some information. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not true, maybe it's present, maybe it's past. Whatever it is, we're just playing with what comes up. So again, checking out the skin or clothing or fur. And like bringing in your memory's nose to smell. Does the smell of this creature turn up as you actively try to smell? For me, I like get a little bit of information. It's like I can't quite put words to it, but it's something. Maybe you notice very clearly, maybe you notice nothing at all. And spending just a moment kind of in the skin texture layer, looking towards both the skin around their eye and their eye itself, the whole eye area. Looking at in your memory, can you see anything about like the wrinkles around their eyes or the smoothness or the shape of their eye? Is there a lot of, like that sort of like pink or white tissue between the skin and the eyeball? Does it sag? Is it very tight? Are those eyes really glassy? Like they're about to water, or are they very dry looking? Even if you can't see that their gaze exactly, is there some kind of like, does it look like they're bored staring, or is it sort of a warm gaze? Not worrying about what they're thinking, just sort of checking out. If you decide to do an easygoing guess, does that gaze look warm or nervous or something like that? And then maybe just checking again for this breath. Do you notice them breathing? Is there any part on them that is moving as air goes in and out of their body? And how is this body? Is it like dough, where you can kind of like, mush it? Or is it look brittle, like a dry stick that would break easy? In your mind's memory, can you like cuddle into it, or can you lean all your weight, or do you have to be a little bit careful about where you put weight? What is this body like? Does this body look like there's tension, like the muscles are tightened or loose or somewhere between? Does this body look awake or asleep? Does this body look like it's listening to you? It's a sort of funny question, but just sort of roll with it and notice what happens. And maybe, can you hear the sound of the voice of this person or animal? Like, it could be when they speak, but also like the way they clear their throat or cough or just make sound in general. Is there even like sniffling their nose, like in some way? Can you hear anything about how they make sound? And then real easy going, coming to bring your like noticingness, this noticing activity you've been doing into this person or animal. And then bringing the same quality of like just looking to notice your own headspace. So you might, there's a couple ways, there's a lot of ways to do this. So, again, don't really worry so much if it's present or past. You can completely let go of that memory, or you can keep bringing that memory back up, like refreshing the memory. Either way is fine. So coming to notice how your head, like your neck and you can feel the top of your head, your face, all of the tissue inside of your skull, all the muscles and ligaments. Noticing how that space feels right now. Is there a lot of motion? Is there a little, is it very still like a pond? Is it dry or moist? What moves in this head area as you take in air? And maybe you refresh the memory. Maybe you can like feel yourself in the memory next to this person or animal. Any variation is fine. Letting all of that sort of blur together is fine. Or you can separate. It's all fine. Coming to just real easygoing, notice your chest space, the front and sides and back of your chest, and your arms. Looking for neutral-esque information, like, do you feel the temperature of yourself hot or cold? Or again, what parts move or don't move as you take air in and out? And bringing your noticing down to your belly center area, the front, sides, and back belly. Checking out what's there. And you might again refresh this memory of this person or animal. Maybe you're with them as you're sensing yourself. Maybe you're very much in the present. Just real easy going, refreshing the memory of them. And then bringing your attention, noticing to your pelvic area. Like if you put your hands right at the bottom of your torso, right in your crotch, and you feel your hip bones, that whole pelvic area, that pelvic seat, all the tissue inside of that space. What moves as air goes in and out of you? What doesn't move? And again, refresh the memory of this person or animal. And then come to explore your legs. And then as a way to close, you can, if it feels right, offering your body a thank you, offering this person or animal a thank you. And if that's not quite right, some version of like, I see you. I see you there. It, in that way, if you don't have to necessarily like or dislike what you see, just recognizing it and telling it that you recognize it. So offering that to your own body, offering that to this person or animal. And kind of coming back into this present.